Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Y'all looking good today. Look at you. Got all dressed up, looking good, smelling good. That's right. I can smell it all the way over here. I'm so excited to be here today. Welcome, 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 one and all, to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. And I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. What a beautiful day it is, and it continues to be. I love what we do. Why? I tell you every morning. Because when we come together like this, guess what we're doing? That's right. That's right. I heard you. I heard you, Sherry McQueen. We are fulfilling one of the greatest promises available to man. That is where two or more of us with like-mindedness comes together. Wonderful things. It's not that they could, would, should, or might happen. Guess what? They do, because our intentions are set. We mean what we're doing. And there's the bell of purpose to prove it. What is that? Well, the bell of purpose, those of you who are regulars know it's not just some gimmick, not some prop. It is an opportunity. Why? Because the truth, that's right, it has a ring to it. And when I ring this bell, it's because I know we're busy people. I know these are trying times, and I know we can get distracted. So when you hear the bell, it means there's some truth in the air. There's frequency working. Lean in, stand up, back the ride up. You might want to take some of this home with you. Can I get an amen? There we go. There it is. Welcome back, everybody. What a great day. Guess what? Yesterday, I went all the way, did not even get that tooth pulled. Which one? Back here. Because they wanted me to wait 2 hours before something happened or whatever. No. So I just rescheduled. I was going to the dental university. First of all, it's cheaper. But you also, it's a chance for those students to get some, going right on back over down the street to my regular dentist. I think she said she can get me in next week. So, yeah, I'll be going for that. But thank you all for all of the support yesterday, the light, love, and prayers that came my way. I received that. Little reminder, tickets are going on sale October 10th. We'll give you more information for the Power of We Symposium. It's our third one. Back in Chicago, where we live, we'll be here April 28th, bringing in our 250 youth. I call them ambassadors because they are from all over the hardest hit areas of Chicago. They'll be joining us and hopefully you at the beautiful Stan Mansion in Logan Square. For more information, details, or to see what we've done in the past in Chicago and also Atlanta, head over to powerofwesymposium.com and check it out. Remember, y'all, we got an award from the United Nations after our last one in Atlanta, and everyone gets better than the last. So we can accomplish that again, but only if you join us. Don't forget, powerofwesymposium.com. So today, you guys might remember, way back in the dark ages, when I was kind of going through that, what would you call it? I don't know, just a weird time. And something happened. I partnered up and did Bathrobe Moments After Dark with this guy named Charles Mattocks. Y'all remember that? Yeah, we had a good time, didn't we? But Charles, being so busy and all, couldn't, keep up with our schedule. So, and I couldn't either. So we put it on hold. But he's back today in a big, big way. He has a reality show. You might remember 8 Days, where there were 8 people dealing with active cancer. That was a couple years ago, prior to COVID. And even before that, there was the original Reverse, dealing with diabetes. And now he's got another one. I'm going to share something with you because I believe what they say when they say, oh, well, I can show you better than I can tell you. But first of all, let me tell you why this is so important. It's a term we're all familiar with. Most of us even know someone that is affected by diabetes. Why? Because 34.2 million Americans, this is the latest from the CDC, 34.2 million Americans, just over 1 in 10, has diabetes. 88 million American adults, that's approximately 1 in 3, have prediabetes. Now, new diabetes cases were higher among non-Hispanic, Blacks, and people of Hispanic origin than non-Hispanic Asians and non-Hispanic whites. So there's all kinds of great information, but make sure that you're going to a verifiable source. And if you don't find one online, we've got a couple of them here today in person. But get your information. I got mine from the CDC. I'll be posting that link in the chat before we leave. So let's talk about, let me show you a little bit about what they got going. I believe this show premieres this Friday. So you're here just in time to mark your calendars. And I'm going to try, y'all, I can't wait till I'm at NBC. So I don't have to do all this clicking around myself. But for now, I'll do my best. And let's see. Let's take a look. And honey, did you just sneeze? Yeah, sorry. Oh, no, bless you. Here we go. Take a look, you guys.
We're introducing a keto intermittent fasting lifestyle.
We're all here for the same reason.
Right. Teaching people that they can change their life.
We have proven that it can be done in only a short period of time.
Where are you on your keto journey?
The best way to do a keto diet is to learn how to cook.
0.5. Still in ketosis. That's the energy.
What's the best thing to reverse diabetes? Shrink those fat cells.
Type 2 diabetes is a reversible condition.
I know I'll be a diabetic for life, but I have to take care of my health.
A lot of people don't want the conflict. They don't want to talk about it.
Okay. You can't go back. You can't go back. It's not about the things that you didn't do. It's about the things that you do now.
Well, you have really changed my life.
Imagine those that do even the slightest exercise and you're following the keto diet. The world is going to change.
Wow, that looks quite interesting. And now is a good time. I want to ask all of you right now, because it's about sharing, pouring into each other. We have illuminated conversations here on Bathrobe Moments, and our theme this year is Show Me Your Soul, and I'll show you mine. So today we have Carl Swallowhorn, one of the cast members of this new series, and also the director, producer, and writer of it, the creator, Charles Mattocks. So first time for Carl, so you know what we do. Put your hands together, put your hearts into it, and put some hearts on the screen as our guests come to the stage. Here they come. Carl Swallowhorn and Charles Mattocks.
We could do it back into it. Yeah.
You know what?
Are we on? Are we on?
Plunging neckline.
Are we on now? Are we on yet?
Charles, you can just button that shirt right back up. Trying to steal mine. That's what I do.
No. Are we on yet? Are we on?
Carl, how are you?
Well, I'm doing fine. And Lauren, please forgive me for correcting you, but my last name is Shallowhorn.
Oh, Shallow. You know, I
That's
got
like
to
it
say,
looks.
listen,
That's like it sounds.
Where did you get swallow from?
Well,
Charles, let me tell you,
when we get bathrobe moments,
I already know his
we
mind.
go there.
I known him too long to know his mind. So, swallow horn.
Shallow horn. Because I'm thinking of a bird for some reason. Yeah, look. At 12th grade, public school, you can figure out the rest. I'm kidding. I have nothing against our public schools or those GED holders and 12th grade graduates. Holla. I'm so happy to have you guys here. A real genuine topic, as always, but this one that touches the hearts and souls of so many for obvious reasons. Carl, why don't you start us off by saying hello to everybody and letting them know where you are in the world and a little bit about how you found your way into this cast of Reversed.
Sure, Lauren. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me here today. It's a great opportunity to share the message and a little bit about myself. I'm from Buffalo, New York, where I am right now, beautiful Buffalo, and I am a mental health and addiction professional. I'm a counselor. I've been involved with that field for about 20 years. And the way I got involved was with the Reverse was through Charles. Charles had reached out to me and said, hey, man, I got this program. I want you to check it out. Would want to see if you'd be interested. And I thought to myself, well, for a couple of reasons that I was interested. One is I'm always about making change and becoming the best version of who we can be. But I also have a personal connection with diabetes. My mother died at the age of 66, Lauren, from complications from diabetes. She was on dialysis, ended up having a cardiorespiratory failure. So that was one certainly personal connection. Then also my wife lives with type 2 diabetes. So I've lived personally with this. As you said the statistics. I've lived through the statistics myself. I've seen people. So those are two of the main reasons why I want to get involved.
Awesome. So you don't actually deal with diabetes yourself personally?
No, I do not.
Okay, great. I love that because, well, clearly it's a great thing, but it's nice to have that perspective, that separate perspective from someone who's dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. And we're going to talk about some of the things you have to do. My mother-in-law is diabetic and also on dialysis. And I see the routine when we're there visiting that the two of them, my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, go through. Getting up every night every morning at 2 a.m. The logs of, they check off every single thing that goes into her body. They do the math. And she's been dealing with this since she was a teenager. And she's in her 70s. So it's nice to see that you got to be diligent. You really do. And a lot of people don't realize a lot goes into it. I have a sister that's diabetic and her insulin sits in the refrigerator in the drawer. She doesn't even take it. And now she's going blind, all these different things. So we want to talk about being proactive, being diligent, and reversing this thing. That's the part I don't think a lot of people believe because they don't get to hear all those wonderful success stories. But Charles, you have given people an opportunity to see how it works and hopefully make some of those choices for themselves. Talk about this new show. Tell us about some of the other casts. And what in the world were you doing in Colombia? Hey, I thought you gave that up.
Hey, can you stop telling where I've been? I didn't know where I was. Now
you should have issued a gag order.
All right. So me and Carl actually
you want to go bite for that? You want to go bite that one?
Yeah, let's back that one up. So me and Carl actually met because we were working, and Lauren, we've been working on a mental health series that that I still want to put into effect. If it was up to me, we would be doing, back-to-back series on some amazing topics. And then everything that I do, every series that I do has mental health in it because it needs to. Right? No matter what you're dealing with in life right now, in this crazy world, we have to address where we're at mentally, and mental health wise. So with this series, Carl, we were talking about doing a mental health series, and then I thought, okay, well, we needed someone there for that. But Carl he's a really great guy, and he's really easy to work with. He's probably one of the joys on the crazy set that we had, where I can talk to somebody of reason and enjoy some downtime to say, Carl, I'm going crazy here. These people are driving me crazy sometimes, with all the scenes and this, that, and the other thing. And so it was a welcome time to have Carl. But Carl also was able to talk to the guests from where they're at. Right. Because, you had Jerome there. He was a little skeptical of coming and doing keto. You had Lisa, who, had the passing of her husband from the first season. You had Janet, who, is a mother who was coming there for the first time to try to pull her
Real
life
quick.
back.
Hold on. Lisa, wasn't her husband the one that in the first series was smoking?
And he passed away.
Yeah.
He passed away from diabetes.
Okay.
He passed away. So,
All right.
so she had lost a lot of weight. She lost over 60 pounds and was now coming back. So this season, while we talk about diabetes, and that's one of the issues that we're addressing, we use ketogenic and intermittent fasting as a way to get them where they needed to be. The first season, to be honest with you, while it was a great season, filled with drama and the ups and downs and things, I didn't really have a great plan. I knew that with education and information, and we had some great experts on there, that we could change their lives. And they did. People came off medicine, people lost weight, and everything was fantastic. But this one was, we're using the best of the best. So we have Dr. Ken Berry on there, who, he has 1.5 million followers on YouTube. We had Maria Emmerich, who is the guru in keto recipes. She has 13 books. She works with Halle Berry. We have, Carl, who's a mega person in his passion and what he does, his skill set for mental health, a ton of accolades. So we brought and of course we have more, but we brought the best of the best together to really help these people and hopefully allow them to have long lasting benefits. And that's why, Carl was there too as well, to really put them in a place where they could have long lasting benefit and not just something that was a quick fix.
Awesome. So tell us about some of these other cast members. Who is this up in the top left corner?
That's
left to right and just
that's Dr. Jason Fung. Dr. Jason Fung is, once again, a guru in intermittent fasting and diabetes. And, he has millions of views on his platform. Right next to him, we have Dr. Ken Berry. Then we have right next to Dr. Ken Berry, probably the best looking guy you've ever had on your platform. Then right next to her is Amanda.
Is that James Brown Jr.? Hey! Okay, just kidding. Go ahead.
Then right next to her is Amanda's daughter, actually. See, what we wanted to do was bring their support system in to play a part in this situation.
So that's mother-daughter, Charles?
Exactly. She doesn't have diabetes, but she wanted to be there for her mother, to support her mother because of, everything that she's gone through.
Like
then, of course,
Carl's there for okay.
Exactly. Then below her is Janet. Janet's a sweetheart of a woman, lives in I think Seattle area, who is dealing with type 2 diabetes and trying to be there for her daughters. Below her is Dr. Vegas. He's a local to Costa Rica, great guy. Then, of course, right next to him is Carl. Then Lisa, who, man, if you see Lisa now, your mind will be blown. Then we have Maria Emmerich, who is, like I said, a guru. I mean, in what she does as far as keto and recipes and cookbooks and things like that. Then, of course, Jerome. So yeah, it actually aired already. So it aired last Friday, and it airs every Friday from going forward from right now.
So this Friday is not the premiere; it'll be like the second episode.
It'll be the third. Well, what I did was the first episode is kind of like an introduction, and we shot this during a pandemic, so it's more of just an introduction. So what I did was I put 2 episodes up so that we would be able to kind of let people see the introduction, but then get a little bit of the meat, right? So they can understand that it was just, the first episode may not be as exciting per se and drama filled as let's say the second or the third. So it was really, I put two up at the same time so people would see, okay, this is the backstory. Now we're getting them. Now that's episode 2. They're in, coming to Costa Rica. We're meeting the experts. We're seeing the house. We're understanding a little bit more. So we put 2 episodes up at this time. Then every other week from there, it'll be 1 episode. Unfortunately, the platform that we aired it on initially didn't do it the right way, and people couldn't find it. So we now are airing it on our platform, and then we've got subsequent platforms coming up like Cox and PBS and things like that.
Awesome. And we'll share those links, everybody. Don't worry. We got you covered here. That's for sure. So how many actual diabetics were in the house?
Me, Jerome, Lisa, and Janet.
So 4 of you.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long were you guys all in there? Everybody. How long were you guys doing this?
We were there like a week, Carl?
Yeah, about a week.
Yeah.
A week. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things. Let's start. So people, I just want to make sure people have a clear understanding. Pre-diabetes, I hear that a lot. I read that a lot. Let's put it that way. But I don't hear that come out of people's mouths too often. Oh yeah, I'm dealing with pre-diabetes, or my daughter has pre-diabetes. So talk about what the difference is, and can both of those be reversed or just the pre?
Well, pre is it's a name that they say when you're getting to a place where your blood sugar levels are getting a little high, and the doctor wants to tell you, hey, listen, it's time for you to kind of cut back or change some of the things that you're doing. There's people who will say, there's no such thing as pre-diabetes. It's saying like you're a little bit pregnant. So if someone says you're pre-diabetes, it's a good chance that once again you could address it. You can change your eating habits. You can change your lifestyle, and hopefully those numbers will go down and won't progress until full-blown diabetes.
So once a person, and Carl, how long has your wife been dealing with this?
I want to say about 11 years, 10, 11
And you've been
years.
married how long?
27.
27. So here we go. So take us, let's say 5 years prior to the diagnosis.
Okay.
From there forward, moving forward. Now, in retrospect, do you see, or did you see, because I don't know, you may have, any of the warning signs we hear so much about, as leading up to it, that just for whatever reason didn't click, didn't stick? What happened there? Tell us about that.
Well, Lauren, I wouldn't say so much warning signs, but I would say risk factors.
Explain that.
We talk about risk factors with physical health conditions, mental health conditions. So one of the primary risk factors was my wife's weight. She was overweight, and also just simply diet, nutrition, right? And with the alcohol use was part of that. She was never dealt with a substance use issue, alcoholism, whatever, but she drank regularly. Yeah. And I think what happened was, though, it was a pattern of just a lifetime. And we're going back to, really even in her teen years, always battling the weight issue. And I think Charles will agree that many people who do that, who have that feeling of needing to be a certain size, to be a certain weight, but also struggling with that, it's sort of like a conflict, internal conflict. I think they call it cognitive dissonance, right? Where you inside you're saying one thing, but you're trying to do something else, and then you're confused. Ultimately, what happened though was that when like you said, when she went to the doctor, she got this report, and I'll tell you though, it was a shocker. I mean, anybody who gets that diagnosis, it's a wake up call. Now, if you talk about my mother, let's talk about my mother, Lauren, because mother issues, right? So my mother, however, did have a lot of these pre-existing conditions, family issues.
She was diabetic?
My mother had 5 siblings. There are 5 siblings in my mother's family. 4 out of 5 live diabetes that end up on dialysis that all died as a result of renal failure. My one uncle who's still alive, my Uncle Will, is 80. He did have pre-diabetes. However, his wife took charge and they took charge, changed his diet. Now he no longer lives diabetes. So his condition, as you say, was reversed. So I've seen it in a number of different ways.
Yeah. So, Carl, you guys were eating together, at least I would assume, one meal a day?
All the meals.
Okay, well,
Maria, and let me just say, Lauren, Maria cooked those meals. Man, they're really good meals.
So you didn't think it was an issue because you were eating it too. You were partaking. So some people might say, well, how come it didn't happen to you? What were you doing differently than your wife?
Well, I think, for one, I mean, I think sometimes it's genetics, right? And I think sometimes it's lifestyle. Like for instance, my wife didn't exercise much. I did. We know that exercise is a way to prevent diabetes because of the metabolism piece. And also just the fact that I think it's just a lifestyle issue for some people.
Yeah.
Even though we live in the same house, Lauren. We live in the same house. However, you can still have different lifestyles, nutritional lifestyles.
You know, Charles, chime in on this because this is a real sensitive. This is a scab a lot of people aren't willing to pick. When we see ourselves, it's okay. I mean, we can deal with it, but we don't want to hear from our spouse about it. We really don't. And you better not say anything. In most cases, y'all know what I'm talking about. To your spouse, when you see a couple extra pounds here, then it's gone to 5, and before you know it, it's 10, and then it's out of control. What is it, Charles? And Carl, as a mental health expert, perhaps you can chime in as well. I'll make this a two-parter. What can we do? What's a good way to bring that in so that it's not like saying, so what? You're saying I'm fat? Oh, you don't find me just, all that stuff that comes with it. A lot of us just rather just act like it's not there. But then when the thing happens, like what happened with your wife, I'm sure you must have felt some responsibility, almost a codependency, if you will. So let's talk about ways, if you're in the home, it could be your kids, it could be your spouse, it could be your mother, your father, someone you care about. How do we bring that into the conversation, Charles, about making simple changes?
I think
starting with diet.
I think it starts right from the start. Me personally, I live a certain healthy way, and like I said, I'm in the keto. I eat at times 1 meal a day. It works for me. I might eat 2, but it'll be a small meal. So normally my meal is some cauliflower with rice with a steak. And if later on I get a little bit hungry, I might make a sausage with, a little sausage with some egg whites, and I'm good. And I use my intermittent fasting. But I think I'm, the person that I want in my life, I want them to be cognizant of their health as well, and that we should be working together on our health. And, if I'm trying to stay fit, hey, baby, let's walk. We should be exercising together. We should be walking together. We should be eating right together, right? Because that's what is key in a relationship. It should be, and that's why sometimes, you have, spouses or loved ones in the house, and this person might be trying to eat very healthy. And if you come home to a house and they're, got the bacon and got the potatoes and the French fries and the pizza and that person is trying to eat healthy, one of the reasons why we take them away and bring them to tropical places. So in this show, we took them to Costa Rica. First season, we took them to Jamaica. Why? Because I wanted to take them away from those trappings. I wanted to take them away from anything that might make them slip and put their minds on focusing on health for the time that they were there. So now they go back home and they're able to, share with their loved ones, hey, this is how I'm eating, and I need you to support me on this. So
now what about our closet eaters? I know a lot of people, even not just people who are pre-diabetic or diabetic, but a lot of people who are doing the motions outwardly will then go and have something in private, and pretty much are sabotaging their own. But then I know, and what I'm getting at here, there is a mindset. I saw it in my grandfather. He was diabetic. lost some toes and all of that. And I remember distinctly, I was a kid, but there was a German chocolate cake in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm the one who caught him at like 3 a.m. He was cutting a big old fat piece, and everybody had been instructed, don't touch this cake. There's going to be some trouble if this cake has been touched in the morning. It was like Thanksgiving or something. He cut a piece. I'm not kidding you. I was looking at the piece of like 2 regular pieces. But I left him. I said, okay, I didn't see nothing. I'm not getting in it tomorrow when you get in trouble, Grandpa. We got up the next day. I just assumed he was taking that piece. No, that's what he left. He took the whole rest of the other cake. Now, I'll never forget it. And my mom said, because once he starts, he couldn't stop. What is that?
Let me jump in real quick, and I'm gonna let Carl finish. And this is a personal testament. I'm addicted, and I have a food addiction. I didn't realize this. And when we think about addiction, we think drugs or alcohol or something like that. And I didn't really notice I had a food addiction per se, because it's not one of those things where it's I was craving at something like crack or something. Right. But I've been on, and I had to address this the other day with myself a couple of weeks ago, but I've been on this forever diet, right? Where every night, because I messed up, that I'm starting this diet tomorrow. It's been every day. So the other day when I tested my blood sugar, this is about 5-6 weeks ago, and I noticed my numbers were a little high. And I said, you know what, Charles, this is a wake-up call. Stop it. I'm not on medication, man. I'm done fantastic. And I said, get back on keto. Don't slip up. There's no more of these night cravings. There's no more when I have the kids that I'm messing around with potato chips and French fries and finding myself going to get beef patties and jerk chicken and rice. Stop it. And literally within the last 6 weeks, it didn't take more than 2 or 3 days for getting on keto for me to not only lose some of the weight, but also bring the numbers down. That's how powerful keto is. And that's what you'll see on the series too as well, how powerful in only a couple of days. But at times we have to realize we have an addiction, and food is a strong addiction. And I know Carl can talk to this because it's in the mind.
Yeah, I'll add to that, Charles. You're absolutely right. So food is an addiction, but just as importantly in this discussion, sugar is an addiction. And I will be the first to say that, me and sugar, we talk about, so Lauren, and I'm fully open about this, but I'm in long-term recovery from substance use addiction, right? Alcohol, drugs. But the first substance was sugar. Right? And I think a lot of people don't fully realize that sugar is more addictive than cocaine, than many other drugs. See, what happens is our brains release neurotransmitters and dopamine, and when we do something that's pleasurable, we release dopamine.
Right. That's what people get addicted to.
Right. But what happens though is you start raising that level of dopamine, and then when you don't get what you want behaviorally, or what you eat, or what you take in, or even something that you view, or whatever, your dopamine levels are depleted. So you have to do whatever that is to get them back up. It could be eating, it could be shopping, it could be having sex, it could be gambling, all kinds of things to get that dopamine level up. But the thing that we're talking about here is something that directly affects our physical health. So one of the critical factors is that when you are craving, like Charles said, something, it's not just your brain, it's also your physical body that's reacting. And that's the danger. And we have to learn how to address that. And I'll say, like Charles, I have my own struggles. I will not stand up here and say that I got it done perfectly. I will be the first to say that. But I know what I got to do.
Right. When we come back after this short break, I want to talk to our guest today about all these different diets. Some of us, we hear it's hard, you're hard pressed nowadays to go out with a group or even at a family gathering to not have at least 2 or 3 different eating styles. For instance, there's keto, vegan, raw, veggie. We're going to talk about that and what is it all about? And do you feel like you're missing out? You're the one when you're on one of these diets that just doesn't get to have the fun that the rest of the people do. We'll talk about that and more. Get your comments and questions ready. We'll address those as well when we return. Don't you dare go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. And before we get our guests back in, speaking of healthy choices, and I'm still waiting on my monthly supply to come. I must have drank 2 or 3 in one day, and the numbers got off. V8, there it is. I'm going to tell you about it. Usually I'm drinking it here, product placement, y'all, but this is the best I can do till it shows up. They said today, but it doesn't matter because I want you to know about healthy choices. I always thought I hated V8 because I heard other people say, I hate V8. But let me tell you something. I ditched the Diet Coke. I ditched the Red Bull and all those things that weren't serving me. And I replaced it with this. Why? Because not only is it 100% vegetable juice from concentrate, only 60 calories per can, and 2 full vegetable servings in each can. So don't live a life of regret. Make that choice ahead of time. V8, it's easy to find. Head down the juice aisle in your local grocer, and you'll find it waiting on you. We're all wherever we find ourselves for one thing, and that's to choose for ourselves. So choose V8. You won't be sorry. So let's get our guests back in. Carl, Charles, nice to see you. Welcome.
Yeah. Yep.
Going into this next section of the interview, I thought we could talk about mindset changes versus physical changes. This is a what comes first, the chicken or the egg kind of question. Let's go with keto because this is what you guys were focusing on in the house. So, Carl, why don't you start? Because we know Charles used to play a chef on Facebook. You might think what, Charles? What's wrong?
It's all right.
Celebrity
It's
chef.
all right. It's all right.
So how do you feel about this, Carl? And then Charles, jump right in. Mindset first, then come the physical changes, or physical changes affect the mindset?
So it's interesting you say that, Lauren. From a clinical perspective, a proven technique is called cognitive behavioral therapy, right? So mind you, once again, we're addressing it from a way of changing the way we think to change the way we feel, but also thereby changing the way we behave. So in a way, the way I look at it, you can change the behavior, but also you do have to change the mindset, right? The body will follow, because if anything, you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Right. And so it starts with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. If you, in other words, Lauren, each of the guests, and even Jerome, who Charles mentioned, had to be there and had to make the decision. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, forget about it. So
Yes.
you have to make that decision and really, set your mind up to say this is the next step, and then take care of the physical. But I think the mind is the first thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Charles, same question.
Yeah. That's everything, to be honest with you. That's everything. Because, when we didn't teach them anything per se new. When somebody is in that McDonald's line at 8 in the morning, headed to get that sausage McMuffin and that
Big breakfast.
right?
That
They
big
know
breakfast.
they shouldn't be in that line, right? When we're on the way home from work, man, and want to stop and get the kids some McDonald's and get ourselves some processed fries and some processed chicken McNuggets. We know we shouldn't be on that line, right? So what we taught them really was the basics. But it started in the mind. We have to. That's why the other day, like I said, when I slipped up, what did I have to do? I had to look in the mirror. I literally walked in the mirror and said, dude, what are you doing? Stop. We know what we should be doing. We know how to walk. We know how to exercise. We know how to get on a treadmill. We know how to lift some weights. We know what food we shouldn't be eating or should be eating. But it starts right here with us making that decision that today is the best day to make that choice to take back our health. So really so when you go back to, what as far as using keto and things like that, keto is literally a proven thing. That as far as cutting out, what do we do with keto? We're cutting out the carbs, right? Which is we know is it's terrible for us. We're cutting out the sugar. We're cutting out the starch. We're cutting out all of these things that plague a lot of us. Me being from the Caribbean and traveling to Latin America, and in Costa Rica, they eat something called gabapinto. It's basically rice and beans and eggs in the morning. Right? In other parts of the world, same thing in Latin America. In Jamaica, we like our ackee and saltfish, but what is that served with? It's served with banana, and it's a boiled banana full in starch, and also some dumplings, which is
Keep going, Charles. I gotta fix this. That sun is just too much.
Yeah. But you
Okay,
didn't have to.
keep going.
You didn't have to interrupt me. You could have just
Whatever.
But anyway. But so we like to eat those things. Why? Because they're filling, especially in being in third world countries, so on and so forth. That we like to have things that fill us up. So when we look at keto was used because we wanted to. The other day I was watching the TV show My 600-Pound Life, and
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Ken mentioned this too as well. When you go in for that surgery, they put you on a diet that is low fat, low carbs. Not low fat, low carb, low starch. The doctor, I heard him the other day on My 600-Pound Life, he basically put him on a keto diet. And the guy was able to lose like 100 and something pounds in a couple of weeks, literally. So a couple months. But so they'll tell you no rice, no sugar, no this, no that. So literally they put you on a keto diet before you get that surgery. Keto is a tool in the shed. It doesn't mean that you have to stay on keto forever, but it means that for this particular show is that we use it as a jump start, and we use it to say, okay, just like the other day, and I don't want to keep running my mouth here, but when I realized my numbers were off, I said, let me get back to keto, and got those numbers stabilized. Now,
So why is that? Why do you think that is? That it's like a game of double dutch for so many. We get the results, and then I get to it. It turns from not cheating, it turns into treating. I did this for 6 days, so on the 7th, it's like when you say I'm going to skip the gym for a day. Oftentimes that turns into never going back. So again, I think that does fall right in line with what Carl and you were saying as far as the mindset. So, because I'm a firm believer, and you all out there know this, in order for something to become meaningful for your life or anyone around your life, affected by your life, you have to mean it, or it will not become meaningful. Setting of intentions should not be just something that you just throw out. Here's what I mean. So many of us will say at the front end of the year, oh, this month I want to lose 10 pounds. But then down the road, we've gained it. I believe personally that the difference is changing out the word want for the word need. Because want is a wish list in my world. Need comes with a plan. Because when you haven't done it and you go to that doctor, anyone in a white lab coat that says, well, guess what? You need to lose 50 pounds or you're going to be a diabetic. Suddenly, there's a plan in place and you suddenly can follow it or should. How do you feel about that, Carl?
Go ahead, Carl.
Well, I agree. I think when you talk about something that is, and I wouldn't say a need is a must, I'm taking it a step further because for some folks it's critical, right? And we're talking about life or death, basically, right? I mean, whether it be life in the short term or the long term, quality of life too. We see the thing is we got to remember quality of life, and I think about once again about my mother, right? How her quality of life diminished over time because of her lifestyle choices, her nutritional choices, not exercising, high stress. And that's nothing too. We gotta remember stress, right? People oftentimes will overeat, eat the wrong things because of stress. So one of the things I encourage people to do is to meditate, is to practice deep breathing, is to find even prayer or something to minimize the stress. Find a support group, find people to talk to, because stress produces inflammation, which is another thing that harms us. So you got all these factors coming into play. But I believe that it's the mind-body connection, right? It is really about how they both work with each other or work against each other. And that's key.
And Charles, tell me what you feel about this. That was you triggered something in me, Carl, when you just made that pass. You said overeating, and I want to talk about this. I believe, just personally from my own experience, when I transformed my body, I realized that a lot of my issue wasn't that I was overeating, is I was overfeeding. With the difference, and there is a difference. I diminished the plate size. You know, I didn't know how to make. I made recipes that yielded 3 people that weren't there. So now I feel like food's too expensive to be throwing stuff out. I was raised that way. So what would I do? I'd sit there and I'd eat it out of some false sense of obligation. So let's talk about meal prepping, changing. And I want to know, Carl, your wife wasn't at the house, right? She was or was not?
No, she was not. No.
Okay. Were you on keto before the show?
Me? No.
Yeah. No. But you got on keto while you were there.
Oh, yeah.
Did you take keto home?
Briefly. Now I'm just going to say this. I have some other issues, health issues that I had to address regarding keto. I had to be careful, for instance, of the amount of protein I take in and other issues. But I did see a nutritionist. I did see a functional medicine doctor and got a plan, which is more of a, I guess, a Mediterranean type diet, which is very similar. I mean, it cuts out carbs, cuts out the sugars, right? High in healthy fats, high in vegetables. So
you know the question, Carl. Sorry to butt in, but you know the question everybody wants to ask. If you learned it there and you're on the show, but the diabetic in your life is waiting at home, did you bring it, honey? I brought this home to you.
Right. So let me explain that. So my wife, prior to me going, was already on a plan. In other words, because she has some chronic health conditions that really necessitated her making changes before. In other words, I had to come home and fortunately, we are in sync, right? So she's following a plan through this Dr. Terry Walls, right, who is a nationally known health expert, and it's called the Walls Protocol that she's been following, where once again it eliminates a lot of those unhealthy foods. So when I came home, it was more a matter of her saying, or me saying, this is great, because I didn't have to worry about a house of sabotage. And so, and I'm not saying that that's always perfect, but I'm saying though that when I came home and said, hey, this is what I want to do, my wife has always been very supportive. I mean, of my choices, especially the healthy ones. And so she's right there with it. And so we are able to work together, and that's been the beauty. In other words, even though she doesn't follow keto per se, she follows a keto type nutritional.
Okay, so a relative of keto.
Oh yeah, very much, very close.
Okay. Now, Charles, here's one of those in-the-house personal life questions for you, because you brought it in when you were talking about the temptation of dabbling in what the kids are eating. Somebody out there is asking, well, wait a minute. If you won't eat this over here where you're sitting, how come you can pass it across the table to your kids? I mean, if it's not good, it's just not good. So what's that all about? Is that to give you some kind of an excuse to dabble, or what?
No. I mean, they eat relatively healthy. I mean, but they are kids, so they're little snacks. Whether it's a Cheez-It or some cookies. I mean, you have to have something. They're not just going to snack on celery or pork skins or something like that. And even with school, I mean, they'll have maybe I'll make them a sandwich, with some bread or they like Nutella, right? Their mom is German, so they like Nutella with on bread. But so for them, it's just some simple snacks, some simple things like that. But for me, that becomes at 12 o'clock while I'm up still working, like Carl said, dealing with stress and other issues and things, I'll head down and take and make a sandwich. And that sandwich becomes 3 with the Cheez-Its. Now, so what that simple thing is, it can become a death sentence to me and to other people.
Sure.
So really that's where that's at. But once again, it's all in the mind. It's now saying, hey, I'm done. So the last 2 days I kind of, got off the keto a little bit, but today is I'm back on it and happy, and
it's a new day.
And head to the and I was away and I wanted to enjoy myself a little bit. That's
Right.
the thing with life. We have to enjoy ourselves. We have to eat. There's nothing like some good food, and but knowing that you can make that change immediately and get back. One of the things that low carb and keto lifestyle will help with is inflammation and oxidative stress. Right. So that is the key. And that's why you'll see those numbers go down. That's why you'll see the blood pressure go down and things like that, and the cholesterol change, and people come off of blood pressure medication or lower pressure medication go down in days, literally, because you're getting rid of that oxidative stress and the inflammation in your body by getting rid of the carbs and the starch and the sugars.
Let me just jump in real quick, because you actually, Charles, made me think of something else in this conversation. One thing, and this is also from my own personal experience, one thing that sometimes I struggle with is this all or nothing thinking. Right? Either black or white. It's got to be this way or the highway. If I don't do this, then right. What's the point? It's almost like when you live that way, you set yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
So not to say, I mean, it's like you have to be human. You have to be realistic and give yourself grace, right? Because if you're setting yourself to think, I got to do it this way every day and be so rigid. I mean, some people can do that. I don't know how they do it, but some people can do that. But most people, and I think it's a human nature thing, that you have to have some flexibility. So because even once again, we're talking about a lifestyle, right? And if it's a lifestyle, it isn't so, as we say, black or white. There is some fluidity,
of course,
in there. And now, mind you, for instance, like I talked about addiction, right? Now that's a little bit, I mean, you talk about heroin, cocaine, whatever. I don't know of any social heroin or cocaine users for the most part. That's pretty deadly stuff. But in the long run, it's about making the choices that will improve your quality of life, as it goes on. And so really, I think we have to be more gentle with ourselves and not say, well, forget it then. I'm not going to do this because it's just not working.
Right. Well, we are just about out of time, but before we do, I want to say one thing too. Two things. I know. I'll never forget it. Back in this day when I transformed my body, my coach, I was there when his two little boys came running back. They had spent a weekend with the grandparents, and apparently they went through the McDonald's drive-thru for coffee. And the boys jumped up and were peeking in, trying to look past the window. And they were like, "What's so interesting?" They go, "We've never been inside one of those. We wondered what it looked like." And they were 5 and 7. They had never, ever been inside a fast food restaurant. And so I was like, and I saw their faces as they were talking about, "Guess what we saw?" to their dad. And and he was like, "What? McDonald's?" And they said, "From the car." So that was one thing. And then the other thing is this. I want you guys, and this is for you guys out there, is to understand small changes, big shifts. Small changes equal big shifts. Take a note from Tiger Woods, something from his playbook. If his trajectory is off, you don't see him pick the tee up in the ball and move it and change a club. He'll just adjust by 1 or 2%, an elbow, or the grip, just a little thing. And so we are encouraging all of you. Don't wait until you're pre anything. That's not, well, they didn't tell me I'm pre. You know what I mean? Right. Because there's no pre-dead.
Hey, let me jump in real quick too, Lauren, before we go. We created a new network, and it's called Your Health, YUR Health Network.com.
And if you wouldn't have interrupted me, I would have put it up on the scrn.
But I kind of wanted to lead it in right quick. Okay, so we created that because we are creating a new network where you'll be able to find all health content, from mental health, original programming, original TV shows. So you'll be able to find this series now on Your Health Network. We had it on and have it on another platform, and we'll have it on a couple more. But I figured, you know what? Let's create our own thing so we can change the world. And
that's a whole nother show. I know why you made that move, and it was a good move. But because the truth has a ring to it. Censorship and all that kind of stuff, and what you can and cannot do. We trying to live up in here, right? Can I get an amen? On the screen, see, yes, on the screen is if you want to continue the conversation or the dialogue with Carl. That's where you can find him. Shallowhorn Consulting.
Thank you.
Please check that out. And then again, the network for the show and places you can go for all types of great information, resources, and tips. YourHealthNetwork.com with Charles Mattocks. Gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much for coming today and agreeing to pour into us, for showing us your souls.
Big kudos to you, Lauren. You have some amazing guests. You're not just here for trivial talk. You're bringing on people who, yesterday I was on the way back and I thought, why do we have news where we don't feature people who are doing things and changing lives and helping people? You don't see any of that. And the fact that you're bringing on some people who have a story to tell, who are doing good, says a lot about you and why you're here on this planet. And congratulations to everything that you've done and doing, Lauren.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And real quick, shout out to all you top fans out there. Teresa Griffin, how are you? Songstress extraordinaire. Get over and check out her new project at Teresa Griffin. My Naked Soul is the brand. Check her out. You'll see her at the Power We Symposium, April 28th here in Chicago at the Stan Mansion. Again, on behalf of all of us here at Bathrobe Moments, thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing some truth. The show, again, this Friday. I'm going to drop the links, if Sherry McQueen hasn't done it already, into the chat. In the meantime, get out today, wherever you go. All you need to do is find that one E and that one R. Scoot it over to wherever you find yourself. Take bright to brighter, strong to stronger, bold to bolder. It's as simple as that. Get out today, you guys. Be good to yourselves and be even better to each other. Have a great day. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning out front for our next episode of Bathrobe Moments.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul.